Hi everyone, and thank you for watching Wednesday Wellness here at Dr. George A. Holistic Health and Healing. So we do this Wednesday videos that we upload at our Creator Model of Healthcare Facebook group. So we hope that you will also check out our group and join. So my name is Kai, and I have Ayn. We have Ayn here with us, also Dr. George, and we are the Team Love God, and we're excited, to do different, to always do different videos, different content that we know will be very helpful for your journey. May it be spiritual, may it be physical, but actually for the optimal health of your mind, body, and spirit. So here at Dr. George A. Holistic Health and Healing, our vision is to build a healthy, vibrant, and resilient nation. And our mission is to empower ourselves to the optimal health of our mind, body, and spirit through the Creator Model of Healthcare, 5 Pillars of Wellness. So to know more about the 5 Pillars of Wellness and about the Creator Model of Healthcare curriculum, please do visit our social platforms and our website, drgeorgia.com. And our values, they are humility, love, and forgiveness. All right, so we're actually continuing the second part of our book study for Jesus CEO. And we are in the first topic, which is the strength of self-mastery. And this book is written by Laurie Beth Jones, and I hope that you will enjoy learning and you will also reflect, as we share our thoughts about this book. And also, if you haven't seen the first part of this video, please do visit. Actually, we have it in our website, we have on YouTube, and also in the Creator Model of Healthcare Facebook group. And let me just introduce. This is our boss, our CEO, but he'd rather want to be called as an ambassador for Christ. So Dr. George A. Saramuga is also an osteopathic family physician. As I said, he is a proud ambassador for Christ and an active veteran. So let me just call on Dr. George to lead us with a prayer.
Well, Kai and I, it's great to be back again and leading with love, right? The power of love is God is our tagline, and we do start with prayer. And out of Romans 12:2, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. That's a lifelong journey, this discernment. It's a journey, not a destination. And so it's powerful, and prayer is the best medicine. And as we talked about last week's with video, is that the time with the Lord to hear his word. Okay? Grandpa, what's the meaning of life? Getting to know our Lord Jesus Christ, getting on that path, the path to salvation. And so Ayn's going to lead us in our icebreaker.
Thank you, Dr. George and Kai. Uh, Here's our icebreaker for the day. What are some small things to celebrate?
All right, great question, Ayn. And well, small things to celebrate. I'm alive. I woke up
Beautiful.
Yes,
this day.
indeed.
I'm still breathing. I'm alive. I saw my daughter sleeping very soundly. That's a gift, another gift. And being part of this Team Love God is always something to celebrate for. And
Mhm.
those are just
Indeed.
few of the, I believe, hundreds and millions of things, small things to celebrate. And how about you guys?
Well, Kai, that's when you have that attitude of gratitude and you look at the sunrise, the sunset, like we just got some rain here while we've been taping, and that's to celebrate because it's been dry here. And so that's a gift. Each breath is a gift if you want to get down to it. The Lord knows our first, our last, and everyone in between. And just being able to go to church today and fellowship and those are the small things to be able to take in the Eucharist, the body and blood of Christ. So just lots of joy, folks. And Jesus, everything with Jesus is to celebrate. to lift people up, to have a party, right? His first miracle was to change water into wine. He loves a good party as well. How about you, Ein?
Indeed, being alive and
Yes.
being here with Team Love God, waking up, being healthy, of course, and being with family.
Yes. All is good. It's those little things that really, Mother Teresa says, there are no great things, only small things done with great love. And when we look at life that way and celebrate and rejoice, because, it's a blink of an eye when we look at eternity. So we pledge at Team Love God to make our blink powerful, and no unlove or unforgiveness is going to get in the way of our blink, because that's our choice. Okay? Our active duty veteran salute, always saluting our men and women in uniform across the world. The veterans are the light at the tip of the candle, illuminating the way for the whole nation. If veterans can achieve awareness, transformation, understanding, and peace, they can teach us how to make peace with ourselves and each other, so we never have to use violence to resolve conflicts again. So our warriors are going to be our peacemakers. Thank you, Thich Nhat Hanh. Our objectives? Our objectives for all of our videos are these 5 right here. Putting God first is always a first objective. And we lead with love. We create a culture of kindness. The power of love is God. That's our tagline. Find pure peace in the presence of Jesus. Walk with Jesus. Talk with Jesus. He's our guiding light. And then through the 5 pillars of wellness, to glorify God in our mind, our body, and our spirit. Through the 5 pillars of wellness, to be empowered. That's what the whole curriculum is about. All these videos that we're showing embody all these objectives. And then we pledge to give God all the glory. He gets all the credit. And we have 4 guiding principles. God is the greatest physician. God created man in his image. In the divine image, he created them, male and female. He created them. Genesis 1:27. And prayer is the best medicine. We always start in prayer. Our meetings, our video series, our Wellness Wednesdays. Got to, because that sets the tone. Truly, I tell you, the one who believes in me will also do the works that I do. And he will do even greater works than these, because I am going to the Father. And whatever you ask in my name, I will do to glorify the Father and the Son. Wow. Jesus knew his mission, and it was to glorify his Father. And that's ours too. God is love. We were made in his image. So we got to glorify the Father. We are all responsible for our health and choices. 1 Corinthians 6. You must know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit. The Spirit you have received from God. You are not your own. You have been purchased at a price. So glorify God in your body. That's that powerful word again. Glorify. We need to glorify God in everything we do. All life and healing comes from God. For I am the Lord who heals you. That's out of Exodus 15:26. So Jesus CEO, getting back to that self-mastery. We've got to be good at what we do. And that's to be confident, self-confident, and knowing what our mission is, and living our mission, and being bold in our mission. Jesus, he did the difficult things. A professional doesn't just cower to things when things are going good or things are going bad, because you have good days and you have bad days, and you rise above that. You stay focused on accomplishing your mission, especially during those rough times. And we've had some tough times in Dr. George J. Holistic Health and Healing, but we keep getting back up, and the Lord's guiding us. So doing the difficult thing means we don't jump on that bandwagon that we're doing what everybody else is doing, the public opinion, and let them sway us against what we know our mission is. And stay with our heart, our gut, our spirit, our instinct, the Holy Spirit. And that guidance, that's where we're getting our direction. And I felt alone many a times on this journey the last 4 years. And that's the true mark of a leader. if you're willing to stand alone for your principles. Jesus was willing to stand alone. And we have to become followers at times. I have got two talented teammates that give great counsel, great advice. And you got to be able to listen and take that information. And then you make your decisions. Jesus said, thank you. He had a thankful and a grateful heart. He thanked his Father all the time, and he thanked his disciples. Gratitude is a key element in any leadership position. It opens our heart. We become a listening heart, a faith-filled heart, a caring heart, a compassionate heart, a love-filled heart, a heart that forgives. Do you say thank you before you ask for something from God, from your boss, from your staff? Do I, Kai and I? Do I thank you?
All the time, never failed.
Yes.
And my talented team is the same way. They're very grateful and appreciative. And boy, that just builds that beautiful positive energy. And that's what life's about. Honoring one another. We glorify God, he'll teach us how to honor one another. And Jesus was always in a constant state of celebration. He lights up the room. And so he would tell people, lighten up. Why you worry so much? Don't you see the flowers, how beautiful they are? Do you think your Father's going to let you wear less than these? You know, feeding the sparrows. And life is more than who we are. You know, just let go and let God. You know, he loved a good party, right? The wedding feast. And life is full of opportunities to celebrate. And I don't want to miss any of them. And I look at the sunrises. I love getting up early, and I don't want to miss any sunrises. I go to bed early so I can get up early because they're so beautiful and spectacular, and no two are ever the same. And that's living life at its fullest. And that's my choice. Jesus owned it. And that means you possess that power to be fully alive in your mind, body, spirit, and your mission. And he demonstrated that through his 3 years of his ministry, that he was the master and that he owned everything that was given to him by God. And he created good out of it. And he developed followers that wanted to embrace that love and to live with him eventually in heaven. And then Jesus tells us that all the Father has is mine. And so he conveyed that to his disciples. He conveyed that to people that didn't believe him, that he was the Son of God. But he didn't back down. He owned it. Just like we have to own our health and be responsible for our health and our choices. And so only if we could study it and know our inheritance in our hearts and the power that we have, that God has given to us, right? We'll do greater things in his name. We would walk differently on this planet. There would be a lot more gentleness, a lot more omega leadership, right? And more certainly, there would be a lot more love. That's God, the power of love. So in order to own a gift, you must first receive it. You got to embrace it. You got to nurture it. You got to develop it. You got to honor it. And Jesus didn't waste time judging others. That was an energy leak, right? He spent his energy on creation and restoration. Because when you start judging and getting into the weeds and pointing fingers, that halts progress. You don't get anything done. You just get dissatisfied, discontented employees, and businesses fail. People leave jobs. So when we judge others, We're not doing our job because we're not in sync with one another. And that negative energy just dis- displaces that good positive progress. If anyone hears my words but does not keep them, I do not judge that person, for I do not come to judge the world, but to save the world. So Jesus has given us that example, is to build one another up. Look at the best in one another. We all have our gifts and our talents, and let our employees use those gifts and talents. And keep our eye on the prize, on that forward motion. What kind of things can you do to support instead of judge? Well, Jesus knew. He had empowered his people. He challenged his people. He praised his people. He honored them. Yeah. He knew they could do it, and he gave them the tools to succeed. He expressed himself. Being unable to accurately express and identify raw emotions is a major cause of violence. There's a lot of people out there that don't feel that love. Remember, we all desire to love and to be loved. And so when you don't come from a loving and nurturing environment, you turn to other things to fill your cup with. And a lot of times that's the violence. That's the drugs, that's the alcohol, filling the cup with the wrong things. When we know our God, we know how much he loves us, how much he forgives us. He doesn't hold things against us. He's going to open up doors for us. He's incredible. He values us. And there's no sense in dulling our senses, frying our brains and our bodies through harmful chemicals, alcohol, and drugs. We can't paint over the feelings, remember? We've talked about it in our different wellness videos with our traumas in our past and our unlove and our forgiveness, to drop all of that to the foot of the cross, because Jesus died once for our sins. He expects us to only live through those once. Drop them at the foot of the cross, all for his glory. And move on. Move on in life. He expressed himself loud and clear. And some people didn't want to hear the message. And that's what ultimately took his life, through the passion, death, and the resurrection. But he gave clear messages, how he felt regarding situations and people. And he wasn't afraid to voice those feelings. The young man that was wealthy didn't want to give up his riches to follow Jesus. He wasn't welcome. Jesus doesn't like lukewarm. He wants you on fire. Our spiritual deafness and dumbness can be the demon that is wreaking havoc in our lives and our families' lives. Jesus expressed himself, and he helped others to do the same. And so now we're going to go to how Jesus was willing to look foolish, and Kai's going to take us through the next couple slides.
All right, so from what we have here, we have a deluded engineer, a magician, a waiter, a nudist, a beggar, a lunatic, a harem girl, an improper woman, and a blasphemer. So, what do each of these characters have in common? Actually, these were roles which are assumed or assigned to the following people. So, first is a deluded engineer, because of creating that great ark. That's for Noah. And then Moses, they called him a magician. Well, he turned the snake into a staff, and then vice versa, and a lot of other plagues. So, who else can do that? Nehemiah, he's a waiter, but a very, very important person. He's not a priest, he's not a prophet, but he played a very important role in the reconstruction of the walls of Jerusalem. And Isaiah, actually, I did not know about this, or maybe I did not pay much attention when I read Isaiah, this part in Isaiah, that he is a nudist. It says there that he walked naked for 3 years as a prophet, and we also have Elijah, um, called a beggar. He's also a prophet and appeared to the world over, like, in the guise of a beggar and a scholar. And of course, you have King David, a lunatic. I don't know if you remember that part in the Bible when he thought that he would be safer to his against his enemies, the Philistines, if he will act like a crazy man. So, and it worked actually. So Queen Esther, a harem girl, and well, the story of this is very beautiful. No, we just actually we thought that it's a simple part of book in the Bible, but it really played a huge part because through her she was able to save the entire Jews from massacre, during his
Mm-hmm.
time. And of course, Mary, called an improper woman, he was about to, we all know the story, about to get married, and then suddenly, poof, she's pregnant. you know and of course she cannot, like, broadcast it and tell it to all the people because no one will believe her. No, and of course, last but not the least, Jesus Christ, who's called the blasphemer. No, because of everything that he declared, his I am statements, that he declared
Mm-hmm.
about himself. So going back
That's
to you,
all.
Dr. George. Yes.
Yes, that was beautiful. And Jesus wasn't afraid to look foolish. I mean, he he had his mission, and he didn't feel he was looking foolish, And so he wasn't afraid to call people out, the money changers at table, and the folks that were when they preparing to him to be crucified. He didn't want any long trial or any argument. He just said it like it was, and so he that was his key to his success. And we can't be afraid to look foolish. And I don't look at it as Jesus looking foolish. He was bold. He went against the grain, and so then it makes people uncomfortable. So we must keep to the plan, our plan to be ambassadors for Christ, our plan to blaze a trail for God's model health care, because that's what the Lord wants us to do. And so if we look foolish, that's in their eyes, other people's eyes. It's not in my eyes. I don't look at it being foolish. I look at it as being empowered and doing the will of the Lord. So Ian's going to talk to us about how Jesus didn't kick the donkey.
So he did not kick the donkey. So this sub chapter is about a prophet who was hired by someone to curse a village. As he was riding along, his donkey suddenly stops on the trail. The prophet kicks her, screams at her, and eventually dismounts and prepares to beat her up. Until the donkey cries out, "Why are you beating me? Haven't I served you faithfully all these years?" Suddenly, an angel appears and says to the prophet, "You fool, quit beating her. Even she could see I was standing here. Your donkey just saved your life. For if you had continued with your plan, you would have been killed." In fact, the angel continued, "I would have killed you and let the donkey live." So, this short story reminds me of the amazing stories that surfaced after the September 11 terrorist attacks. One man was alive because it was his turn to bring donuts. One spilled food on her clothes and had to take time to change. And there was a guy who put a new pair of shoes that morning, and on his way to work, he developed a blister on his foot and had to stop at the drugstore to buy a band-aid. And that's why he's alive today. So, how many of us are quick to label inconveniences as bad? Sometimes dreading traffic, flat tires, sick days, bad news, and schedule changes. But these inconveniences may be God's way of shielding us, and chances are they're not burdens at all. They're blessings in disguise. So, next time when we're caught in those annoying situations, let's stop and remind ourselves this is exactly where God wants me to be at this very moment. And so take a little time out, smell the flowers, and rethink your route and your mission. And remember, when the donkey you are riding suddenly refuses to move, don't kick it. Get off and look for the angel standing in the road.
Wow. That's beautiful, Wine. Well
Thank you.
done. Well done. Yes, every flat tire or missed appointment or a flight or all the things that you mentioned with 9/11, so powerful. And when we look at all the big picture, God has a plan for everything. That's why every breath, right, is a gift. So beautiful, beautiful. Well done.
Thank
And
you.
Jesus had a passionate commitment to the cause. So, what do you think Jesus was trying to teach his staff when he drove the money changers from the temple? Okay? A leader who is not passionate to the cause will not draw much commitment from others. He had to prove a point, not to dishonor his God, his Father, by all the corruptness there in his temple. He wasn't going to tolerate it. And so, that passion that he showed, his people witnessed that, his disciples witnessed that. And so he wanted people to be empowered and to be committed to the cause. Jesus certainly was. And when you're committed to a cause, it's not always so immediately obvious. Sometimes you got to walk that lone hill by yourself. Remember, looking for that, you're that lone nut, you're looking for that first follower, but you have to have that passionate commitment. You got to walk it in the good days and in the bad days. Jesus requested noble things. That's a beautiful word. So let's ask for noble things. Ask for healing, for forgiveness, for love. So maybe if we think about contributing more to the noble causes in the world, to unite all in love, for God is love, to lead with love, the power of love is God, never end peace and love, always be kind. You can change the world, right? Smile, breathe, love. 3 words to change the world. So let's ask for noble things. Ask and you shall receive. So Kai's going to talk to us about he saw love in control of the plan.
Okay, so um, it says in the book, the author described King David as a passion personified. Um, it is because perhaps David did not always um, look at things or judge things according to what he sees through his eyes, but always through the sovereignty of God. So people judging events as being bad or good when actually all the events are connected and have an impact on each other. And actually, I forgot, but there is this book which studied about Esther, and it's wonderful how the author was able to explain very well how all things are connected to each other, like when the wife of the current king did not obey him, and then the king looked for another wife, and then Esther came and all the favor was with her. Even the reason why the king was not able to sleep, and then all those little things, they are connected with one another. And a lot of times, as Ayn said about kicking the donkey, you know We always look at things as inconvenience if it is not according to our way, according to our plan. But actually, if only we will, always look at troubles, at things as something as a friend, and have a different perspective on those, we will see how actually God is in control of everything, and that He will put everything together for the good of those who believes in Him. So trying to sort good from bad and putting labels on events that are constantly changing their shape can make a leader crazy. That's why God is a God of reversals. Even our season in the wilderness, He can even bring something beautiful out of it. And knowing that there is a reason for everything, that God is a reason for everything, it's easier to see and believe that, hey, the God who is love is in control of everything. So David had done everything he could, but then, at the end of the day, we know that everything is really in the hands of God. So sometimes it's really frustrating, like you tried everything, but then still nothing worked. Then, that's the time when, you know, suddenly you're reminded that, oh, well, yeah, I can only do much, but it is God who can do everything, for me. So Romans 8:28 says, all things work together for the good of those who are called according to God's purpose. So all in order, well assured, does He not bring to flower all that saves me, all I desire. No. So David believed and knew that love was in control of the plan, and I hope that all of us will always, will have a change of perspective and see it this way, that God is in control of everything. That God is a God of reversals, and always, from something broken, God can create and bring something beautiful out of it. So Jesus saw God as His only source and love in control of the plan. So, well, this is us in social media blaming a lot of, factors, a lot of people, maybe the government or whatnot. But when things go wrong, we want our tendency is to point, a finger. And sometimes because we feel there is a justice when we get to blame other people, but it's not really helping. So whom do you tend to blame when big or little things go wrong? So that's it.
All right. Nice job, Kai. Well, as I get older, it's all on me. And so God knows how it's going to end, and I give it to Him. I do my part. So I rarely blame other people. I mean, if people harm me or do something to me that isn't just, well, it's not that I blame them, but I remove myself from the situation and I let the process take take shape. So we have to own our health and our choices. Okay. Jesus worked through his fears. He was afraid. He talked to his people about his fears, his disciples. He wrestled with the fears to the point of sweating blood in the garden. And none of his disciples could stay awake and be there for him. And Jesus was not afraid to grow up, to face his fears head on, and the gruesome events in his life that he knew he had to endure: passion, death, and resurrection. It's like buffalo going through the blizzard. The blizzard, it's going to end, but you got to keep moving forward. And Jesus kept moving forward. And he didn't shrink away from that final destiny going to the Jerusalem. He boldly announced his identity to his executioners, and he didn't want a long drawn out process. He knew what he needed to do. Fear is an ever present fact of life. But we talk about fear differently, right? Fear being false evidence appearing real. We talk about it, forgive everyone and rejoice. We're all going to have those times in our lives that we're having a little bit of a doubt, okay? But we don't have to have fear. We just put our trust in the Lord. He was keenly aware of his resources, and he was able to create what he needed from something that was already there, right? 5 loaves, 2 fish. He was able to multiply. He was creative, and people were attracted to him, and they opened their doors to him and their homes to him, and so Jesus knew what he needed, and he was provided the resources that he needed from the Lord and from those that he was able to serve. And it takes time for people to appreciate that their greatest resources are often the people they know. Kai and Ein are the greatest resources for Team Love God. It's not the PowerPoint. It's not the videos. It's not the products. It's not the curriculum. It's the people. The people are our greatest resources. And you gotta let them know that. That's what a leader does. It's important to take time to know your people, to value people, to honor your people, to love your people, to appreciate your people. He felt a sense of destiny. Do you sense you were destined to be doing what you're doing? I do, to be a physician. I knew that since I was eight years old. Did Jesus know he was the Son of God at 8? I don't know. He probably did. Jesus said, I know where I came from and I know where I'm going. I know where I came from and what my destiny is. The rest of my life is going to be dedicated to the glory of God as ambassador for Christ, blazing a trail for the Creator model healthcare. I know it. And so it's like a magnet that pulls me to that. And great leaders inspire others to that vision and to lead with love. So he prized the seed rather than the banquet. So we plant seeds with people with all these videos, with our daily devotion, with our empowerment curriculum, our creator model of healthcare curriculum. We plant seeds. Some people are going to grow quicker than others. That's their journey. And that's what Jesus did. To help others, right? He came to show a better way, to teach, to love, to heal. And that's what we're doing. Jesus could have ruled the earth, but his kingdom was not of this world. It will be when he comes back, the second coming. That's why he prized the seed more than the banquet. And Ein's going to close us here in this PowerPoint presentation on he didn't despise the little things.
Okay, so he did not despise the little things. When Jesus set out to change the world, he chose only a dozen of people to work with. As Dr. George shared earlier, he planted seed. So he used he planted seed to later on sprout into a beautiful bouquet, and that is his 12 disciples. Aside from that, he also led by example. I think that leaders need to set the tone in an organization. So leading by example is an integral part to plant seeds on your followers. And the values and ethics don't just apply to the big things, they apply to little things. Jesus
Beautiful.
paid attention to the little things like rushing to help a sick girl or to feed thousands of people with a loaf of bread. The little things that would permeate in the hearts of his followers and would eventually write the bigger story.
That's beautiful, Ein. He did. And when you were talking, it made me think that Jesus paid attention to the details, the little things. The lady at the well, he knew how many times she had been married. He didn't care. He just said, go and sin no more. He forgave that. The beautiful attention to detail. and everything. Well, he knows every hair on our head. So that's pretty much attention to detail. So hey team, what a great session. You guys were rocked. We rocked this. So thank you for that. And we're gonna finish this Jesus CEO book here throughout the coming year, and we're having fun doing it. So I'm gonna turn it over to our kind and talented Chief Operations Officer, Kai, and she's going to take it from here.
All right, thank you for that, Dr. George. Thank you, Ayn. And indeed, it's been a wonderful time doing this book study with you. And if you do have questions, please just contact us. You can send us an email, or you can um, communicate with us through our social platforms. All right, so another wonderful topic that you will have, or we will share with you here at Wednesday Wellness, is a potpourri of inspirations. This is prepared with love and much love by Ayn. And this will be a new video on the 23rd of this month. So we hope that you will stay tuned and be updated of the new videos that will be uploading every Wednesday. And how to stay tuned? Just visit or follow us through different social platforms. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, that's at Dr. George A. We also have Pinterest at Dr. George A. Saramuga. And all of the videos you also uploaded in our YouTube account, that's Dr. George A. Saramuga. And also for daily inspirations, for devotions, free handouts that you can download, and a lot of other resources, please visit drgeorge.com. Alright, thank you again for another wonderful time with you watching this video. And the team also wants to say thank you.
Many blessings with much love. Thank you for the privilege of your time, and may God bless you.
Thank you, everyone, for giving us the opportunity to share, show, and be love.
Yes. Thank you.
Indeed.
Stay
Indeed.
safe.
Yes.
Yes.